Hello and welcome everybody to your diploma in video. My name is Adam O'Reilly and I'm a videographer. So just a quick little backstory on myself. I went to college for 3 years to study digital media production. Okay, so at my time at college I studied videography, photography and sound. So in my final year of college I decided to specialize in video and television production. So I'm going to be your educator throughout this course, where we're going to be looking at everything that is to do with video, guys. Okay? So this course, okay, it's really to get you to understand the technical aspects of video, as well as the creative. Okay, so what we will do is we will take our technical knowledge, mixing that with our creative knowledge to make an entertaining video. Okay, so my main goal when I set out to build this course was two things really, is to make sure that we could really have as much fun as we possibly could, but as well, one of my main aims is that you can take this knowledge and apply it to any device that you have. So whether it's a DSLR camera, a professional video camera, a smartphone, whatever it is, guys. Okay, so we're going to use whatever you guys have. I don't want you to feel like you have to go out and invest a lot of money into a lot of equipment, because a lot of the times it's really not that necessary. Okay, also what I will do throughout the course is to provide you with some DIY tips and tricks that I picked up from my time in the industry on how to get around equipment. Moving on, just to look at the course agenda. So week one, guys, it's really all about the introduction to how video actually works. Okay, so obviously lesson one, we're here today. We're going to take it nice and easy today. We're not going to get too heavy on the technical. Then in lesson two, we're going to go into a bit of the history of how video actually works, which is extremely interesting, guys. Week two, composing the shot. Okay, so in lesson three we go through things like aperture and lenses, compositional techniques and movement. Then week three, it's all about taking control of the camera, guys. So things like white balance, lighting, shooting in fully manual on your camera. Week four, we're going to put it all together and we're going to be moving forward. So going through things like audio, which you'll learn through this course is extremely important, and the basics of cinematography. Okay, let's jump right in. Okay, and I'm sure you're very eager to start this course for one, but as well very, very eager to get out there and to start really creating and shooting some great footage. So in this lesson, what we're going to look at basic steps to getting started, genres and styles, cameras that you're using or thinking about using, and we're going to also look at the controls of those cameras. So guys, as I said, I'm going to keep it very, very light for this one, so just kick back, put your feet up. We're going to go through some really interesting stuff. I would suggest, as I say, taking some small notes, guys. It will really, really help you. Personally, I learn easier by jotting down small notes for myself. It's up to yourself, whatever really you think would work best for you guys. So just before we jump into this, I really kind of want to find out what you guys are here for. So, what is it? Why are you here? What do you want to shoot? What would you like to create? Is it short films, documentaries, promotional videos? Okay, so we've got some vloggers, we've got people with YouTube channels, so documentaries, all sorts, promotional videos, business videos, brilliant, brilliant. What else have we got? Fantastic. I mean, there's a really big range there. From what I've learned over my time, guys, doing or being in this industry, is that these are extremely good skills for you to have. They're extremely good skills that you can put to work or you can put to use for your own personal life. But before starting any video or any video production or short movie or documentary, whatever it is, guys, I believe that there's a couple of important questions that you should ask yourself first. So first and foremost, I think you should ask yourself, what am I filming with? Okay, so to put it simply, what camera am I using? Okay, so we're going to have a look at all different types of cameras, guys, and to be honest with you, these days, most of the devices that we have actually have video recording capability. Okay, so I don't believe that you need professional equipment to make something that people are going to enjoy. What do you guys think? Yeah, exactly. No, you're exactly right there, Amir. It can be done with everything and with anything, and that's really my belief as well. But knowing what camera you have and knowing its limitations is going to be able for you to create better movies. Okay, because some will be able to do more than others, and you need to know really where your restrictions are. Okay, so really it's an important question to start with, guys. So the second question I believe that you should ask yourself is, how is it going to sound? So I don't know if any of you have ever heard, it's a famous saying by a lot of very, very famous directors, audio is 50% of the recording, guys. And I don't mean that you have to spend 50% of your time on the audio. What I really mean by that is that audio is just as important as the visuals. The reason being is, I mean, you could have the best looking shot in the world, but if the audio is bad on it, it's going to fall flat or it's going to fall short anyway. So it is one of the parts that we're going to concentrate in this course. If you're looking at any major film production or TV production or whatever it is, they usually have huge teams working on the sound, and often many, many people working on the sound. So there is two main benefits that I think you guys having this knowledge is going to bring to you. So the first benefit, I believe, is that at some point you might be working with a crew. So you might be working with so many people, and if you're working with the sound guys, if you have a vocabulary that you can share with them, or if you have an understanding about how that works, you guys can communicate much better and work as a stronger team. The second point that I believe is that having this technical knowledge about audio is going to help you to have great quality audio on your projects. Okay, it makes a massive difference to the overall quality is having good audio. Okay, so guys, I can see a couple of you are asking some questions. I will try, but if it's going to get in the way, I'm going to keep moving on. So some of them just try to hang on till the end. We will do the Q&A, and we can take it from there. Okay, going back to audio. Most cameras have basic microphones, okay, and we're going to make do with whatever we have for the moment, giving our current level. But as we move up through the lessons, our level or our quality is going to want to step up. But don't worry, lesson 7 is all about audio, so just work with whatever you have for the moment. Okay, so the next question I believe you should ask yourself would be, or not necessarily a question I suppose, but having a plan or a vision. So planning your movies or planning your films or whatever they are. Planning is such a vital element for the success of making really good quality productions. You should have a very, very clear idea, how it's going to look, the different shots you might need, maybe the different locations that you might need to tell your story. Things like a storyboard can really, really be an excellent place to start. Have any of you guys familiar with storyboards? Storyboards are the best planning. I hope I'm saying that correct. So yeah, guys, storyboards, very, very simple. It's usually just you draw how you're going to compose your shot, if it's going to be a close-up, if it's going to be wide, and then you'll jot maybe some notes underneath about what the shot is meant to represent, or some important things that you need to make sure that you get. So going out into a production and having your storyboard in your head, it can be very, very overwhelming when you're out and actually trying to start a shoot. So having a list can help you just tick things off. And then you got it, so you can move on to your next one. We'll go through storyboards later on in the course, don't worry. Now, planning is really, really good, but just remember not to be too stringent with your planning, because spontaneous things are going to happen naturally, okay? It's the beauty of living in this world. So you should be able to roll with that, guys, because you would be very, very surprised with what can come out of a spontaneous moment. All right, so having a plan, having a vision, but obviously being able to roll with the punches is very, very important. Another question that is vital to ask yourself would be, how will I edit? Okay, so very few movies, guys, are shot in one take or they're shot in chronological order. Now, what do I mean by chronological order? So on day one of the first shoot, you're not necessarily shooting the first scene that you will see in a movie. Okay, they shoot them in whatever way makes best sense financially and in terms of locations, and they shoot everything, and then what they do is they come to the edit room and then they edit and lay out the story the way it needs to go. So there's two things that I have two tips for you in regards to planning this. So shooting enough footage. Guys, when I started out, I can't tell you how many times that I undershot. All right, and it was an absolute nightmare. Have any of you completely just undershot with what you need? Yeah. Yeah, look, it's happened to all of us. And what can happen is it can make it very difficult then when you come to editing, because you're spending a lot of time, a lot of effort trying to stretch out the footage that you have to make it enough. It can be quite frustrating. So making sure you have enough footage is a great way to start. Another one would be giving yourself space on either side of your shot. So what do I mean by that? So it means just pressing record a couple of seconds before you actually start the movement. So let's say we're going to follow the actor from behind. I'll press record 2 or 3 seconds, start the movement. Once the movement ends, just hold on for another couple of seconds, 5 seconds maybe at the max, and it just makes things an awful lot easier when you're coming to edit, okay? And it'll cut down on the time. So this goes hand in hand with having a good plan, all right? So William says, makes sense. Good stuff, William. I'm glad. So another question, where is my video or where is my production or movie going to be shown? Okay? So think about your audience, guys. You know, put yourself in their position. This will influence your creative decisions. So if it's a scary movie that you're shooting, is it scary enough or is it too scary? Okay. Another thing that you really need to keep in mind with where is it going to be shown. So is this going to be shown in movie theaters, or is this going to be shown on social media, you know, YouTube? This, you know, is there a point in shooting your project in 4K video, which is ultra high definition, when it's just going to be shown maybe on YouTube or social media? Probably not. It's probably not going to be a point in doing so. So thinking about where it's going will help you to prepare for the way that you shoot. So guys, does that make sense so far? Yeah? Okay, a couple of helpful tips in there. Good. Okay, so let's move on then. What do you want to create? So when you've asked yourself the questions to get yourself started and planning, now you need to know what you want to create. So in this next segment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a couple of different genres, a couple of different styles, and kind of see what we want to create. All right, and of course you're not limited to what you can shoot, guys. Okay, you can always dip your toes into different areas or different styles or genres, and I really would urge you to do that. Okay, so another thing that can help with this is watching movies and TV shows and music videos. It can be an absolutely great source of inspiration. Okay, so many of the best directors would have, you know, looked at various different genres, directors, and what they would do was they would dissect what they were doing. So basically, and it's what we're going to do in this course as well, we're going to break down everything and be able to put it all back together. Okay, and it's a really important part of it, guys. So let's just cover, you know, a couple of the different genres. Although they might be quite different in ways, usually the principles are quite the same in how to achieve them. So things like your composition, your angles, your camera movement, but they will obviously differ. So the first one I want to look into is documentary making. Okay, so a couple of you guys are interested in this. So a documentary is factual television or movies about events, people, or places. It's about presenting facts, guys, and with little or no fiction. Okay, so yeah, I can see Dean, you're really excited about starting to get going with documentaries. Guys, what I mean by little or no fiction is you should really not, I suppose any documentary documentary makers' aim should be to not be making up shots or making up anything. It's not really what you're meant to do here. So the documentaries themselves have, changed with the technology over the years. So, cameras have become much lighter, much smaller. Storage isn't an issue anymore. So the genre itself has changed. I think there's a main goal for documentary making, guys, and you'll probably agree with me. I think the main goal is to educate and to entertain. What do you guys think? Yeah? Yeah, no, perfect. Everyone seems to agree with that. Brilliant. So, guys, here, there can be many reasons to shoot a documentary, and there can be many messages behind it. So, a lot of documentaries are simply just to educate and to delight our audience. So, usually mixing beautiful footage with absolutely fascinating information. And a really, really great example of this would be the BBC. So, the Planet Earth series. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that. But they use the latest technology to show us nature in a way that we have never ever seen before. Okay? And this documentary style, so the style of just entertaining and delighting your audience, is known as human interest stories. So you guys might have an interesting person around your area, or maybe a new quirky business that's opened up, and maybe you might want to do a story on them. But as well, I noticed someone pointed out Blackfish. Another aim or another style of documentary making, filmmakers may have a specific message or a plan to maybe change societal opinions or societal norms or maybe political issues, or even just to shed light on injustices around the world. So Blackfish is an absolutely amazing example of this, okay? It was about, if you haven't seen it, the treatment of things like whales and dolphins and orcas in SeaWorld. So this documentary aired on Netflix, and it gained huge traction, guys. Absolutely massive. And it really, really gave a lot of momentum to animal rights groups. Okay, it really, really brought the issue to the world stage, really. And lo and behold, it had such a big effect. And now there are a lot of SeaWorld locations closing down. So guys, this can show the power of a really, really good documentary. Okay, so if you guys were to make a documentary, do you think it would be a human interest story, or maybe do you guys have some plans to have a big impact? Let me see. Okay, not sure. So human interest stories. Okay, some people have some big issues that they'd like to bring to the world. Water pollution. Okay, yeah, I mean, guys, documentaries are incredible, and I'd say watch as many as you can, because there's so much that you can learn from it. So moving on now, we're going to talk about the cinema, movies, the motion picture. So it's one of the most popular pastimes on this planet, guys. I'm sure we're all fondly in love with movies. It's more than likely the reason why a lot of you guys are here today. That probably sparked your interest to really start shooting footage for yourself and making your own movies. Yeah, a lot of people would like to do that. And I mean, guys, it's a fantastic reason to be here. I mean, why do people watch movies? Is it to be entertained, possibly to laugh, maybe cry, learn, to be scared? It's really, guys, to have an experience, okay? And I watch movies for all the same reasons, but I also watch them really to dissect the art itself. So break down the art, see how it all came together, and then I can try maybe replicate that, or take some parts of that into my own movie making. So a lot of the reasons are to entertain people. Obviously there can be a lot of money made in making movies as well. What's your favorite movie, guys? I'm interested to know. Okay, let's see. Hellboy, Gravity. Any more? Forrest Gump, brilliant. Big Fish, The Big Lebowski, Star Wars, incredible. Let me see. Brilliant. Yeah, fantastic. Okay, guys. So let's move on. So we're going to talk about TV, broadcast, and commercial. So TV itself, I'm sure you guys have noticed, has made a big change in recent years. it's really to do with the technology or the advancement in technology. So you have some things that haven't really progressed any further, or the basic processes are still in place. So things like news, soap operas, interviews, morning shows, these have all relatively stayed basically the same. Okay? But obviously TV shows themselves have come a million miles in recent year, guys. I mean, the production quality, the storylines, character depth, popularity in viewers is absolutely amazing. Okay? And as I said, it's, because it's so popular now, you'll see big name actors coming to the small screen. So you've got things like Game of Thrones, you've got House of Cards. Any House of Cards or Game of Thrones fans out there? Yes, Lisa. Criminal Minds, okay. Walking Dead. Brilliant. And guys, I'm sure you've noticed the shift as well in the industry. All of a sudden, these productions, the quality, the stories have become absolutely unbelievable, and it really does have a lot of the attention now is on television. And you guys will notice that, and hopefully, if there's anybody looking to get into that, we can work with you and obviously, make that happen, with a little bit of work. So, music video, guys. This one's a really interesting one, okay? Because music videos themselves, they're like little movies, in their own right. Usually they don't have to make sense, or it's not a rule anyway that they have to make sense. So this can allow the people on the production to really let their creativity off the leash. You can really get some, interesting ones, and obviously if a music video can be very, very inspiring, but these can be a lot of fun, guys. When I started off in the industry, I used to do a lot of these for local bands, mainly because I needed experience and they didn't really have the funds to be, paying for somebody to come in. So anybody out there into music videos, or have you done any music videos so far? Yeah, we have some yeses coming in. Brilliant. Guys, well, we're going to go through a lot that's really, really going to bring these to life. Okay, so I'm just going to move on for now. Home movies. So we're all very, very familiar with these. Most of us will remember our parents having one of those old camcorders shoved in our face for half of the holiday. So maybe you guys aren't interested in TV, or you don't really want to make music videos. Maybe you just got a new camera and you'd really, really like to get the best out of that. So, documenting your family life can be very, very important for generations to come. There's many, many good reasons to shoot high quality, footage. Maybe the first grandchild being born, or your baby's first steps. All very, very important. Guys, who out there does or still practices home videos? It's not as popular as it once was. Let me see. No, okay, we've got a couple coming in. Yeah. Brilliant. Well, no, we have a lot of people, and I think it's a really, really important style. And you guys, like, when we learn more, I suppose when we get a bit heavier into the technical aspects and the creative aspects, these are really just going to improve your home movies. And maybe you might want to build a Lego city, have your your daughter or something like that tear down the city like, I don't know, Godzilla or something like that. But, we're going to employ creative, have a bit of fun with it as well. So, lifestyle and social media, guys. So this is fairly new in respects to the industry, around a couple of years, obviously. How many bloggers do we have out there? Yeah, brilliant. Okay, yeah. So a lot of bloggers, guys. Not necessarily just blogging, obviously. I mean, videos are a great way of improving engagement on social media, blogs, maybe your business's website. So, a bad video will put people off, okay? But a really, really good video, or maybe constantly putting out good videos every week or every month, whatever it is, can really gain a lot of traction to your website. So things like Tumblr, YouTube, Twitter, all these things have made this possible. And guys, for any bloggers out there, or anybody looking to get into this, there's a lot of people who make a really, really good living from blogging and having strong social media. So it's definitely in the realms of possibility, okay? And anyone out there looking really to improve maybe a business website, many times I've gone out and shot small promotional videos for my dad's business. And it's really helped him, it really has. So I'm sure either you have your own businesses or maybe friends or family or something. But these skills, guys, as I say, there's a lot that you can do to help out people or maybe make a little income for yourself, whatever it is. Okay, so last and not least, sports and action. Okay, so maybe you're into skateboarding, maybe you're into rock climbing, mountain biking, anything like this, okay, in these extreme scenarios. And maybe you just want to get them on social media, create small movies, whatever it is. Are any of you guys into skateboard, airsoft? Okay, brilliant. I've gone airsofting about 2 times in my life and it's been absolutely amazing. Scuba diving, wow. Paintballing, cool. Action with animal movies, brilliant. Hockey, cool. GoPro, yeah, we see a few GoPros in there. What else have we got? Motorcycling, cool, very good. Skydiving, okay, wow. Okay, so a lot of you guys seem to be really interested to, shoot those extreme sports that maybe you delve into. Brilliant, absolutely fantastic. So, guys, what camera should I use? So, let's just find out. How many of you guys are using DSLRs? Or better question, what are you guys using? Okay, so we've got a lot of DSLRs coming in there. Yeah, I expected this. So we've got some GoPros, smartphones. We've got some mirrorless cameras. Brilliant, fantastic. Okay, so we've got some video cameras in there as well. So there seems to be a good bit of a mix. A lot of DSLRs, which I expected. So guys, I want to get this across that you don't need professional equipment to make good footage or a good movie. I mean, do you think like Alfred Hitchcock or Wes Anderson or any of these guys had the best equipment starting off? No, exactly. They definitely didn't. They more than likely had one video camera, and what they did was they experimented with this camera, guys. So what I don't want, again, I'll say it again, I really don't want you guys to put that barrier up in front of yourself, okay? We're going to use whatever equipment and we're going to get the best out of it. Does that sound good? Yeah? Brilliant. So some of the technical aspects, guys, so things like maybe shutter speed or aperture or whatever it is, you might not have that on your camera at the moment. Okay, some of the technical aspects that we go through. But it is still extremely important for you guys to understand the terms, to understand how to use them, because it's very important to know these things, guys. Okay? So, yeah, let me see, a couple more rolling in. Perfect, everyone seems to be happy enough with that. So, okay, let's move on then, guys. So what camera should I use? Let's go through phones first of all, smartphones. Okay, so phones themselves have made video and photography probably the most accessible it has ever been before. So we're all walking around day to day with a device in our pocket that can shoot HD video or take really good photos. So the ability to capture the footage and share it instantly is a major benefit, okay? So let's just have a quick look at some of the benefits and some of the downfalls here. So a smartphone, obviously it's very simple to use, it's very small and portable. The simple to use means that we're limited in how much control that we have. Now, as we can get apps to give us a little bit more control, most will just leave it on automatic. You guys might want to delve into the settings and have a look what else is there maybe later on in the course, okay? Really big not really big downsides, guys, but it's limited lens options, so you're pretty much stuck with the lens that's on the camera. I know you can buy attachments, so to make it maybe macro or to make it wide angle, and you can put those over your lenses. The sound quality, it's pretty poor, just to be honest with you, in terms of phones. And the zoom, guys, so I don't know if you guys have ever zoomed in using your phone, but it's zooming in on pixels, so the quality goes down very quickly. Okay, so next we have camcorders, guys. So how many people are using one of these? Okay, so we've got a couple rolling in. Yeah, a couple of camcorders. Yeah, no, okay, that's fine. Yeah, brilliant, brilliant. Okay, so these cameras, guys, they have much better imaging chips than smartphones. Okay, so you're going to get much better quality video out of them. There's no doubts about that. All right, so let's just have a quick look. So it's got good zoom ranges. So it's an optical zoom which differs from your phone. Okay, so it's not zooming in on pixels. So when zooming in, it'll pretty much hold up its quality. You've got continuous recording available. Okay, guys, what do I mean by continuous recording available? So phones or DSLRs or some cameras, that's okay if you don't have an idea, Tanya, that's fine. So some phones or some devices will have limits on how long you can record for, guys. Okay, so with these guys, with these camcorders, you have continuous recording. Okay, so you don't have to stop and then start again and then stop and start. You can record for as long as you really want, or as long as the battery survives anyway. They're high portability. Okay, again, you've got limited sound options. You do have manual control, but it can be very limited in ways. These guys, due to the continuous recording, are very, very popular at things like birthday parties, home movies, and things like that, guys. Okay, so moving on, GoPros. How many of us have GoPros, guys? Let's see, the answers rolling in. Okay, yeah, a lot of GoPros. I expected that as well. GoPros, guys, they're very, very popular lately, okay, and for a very, very good reason. They're very, very easy to use, and they're almost indestructible, okay? So let's bring up, guys, some of the, obviously, benefits and some of the downfalls here. So again, almost indestructible. I mean, you see them, people drop them from roofs, have them while they're snowboarding, do pretty much crazy things with them, and they have a great life, okay? There's lots and lots of extras. So things like tripods, chest mounts, helmet mounts, car mounts, things like that. Basically, you name it, they'll probably have it. It's fairly easy to use, and it's very, very easy to edit the footage as well. One of the reasons, guys, why this is easy to use is because it is a fixed wide angle lens. So you've got a very, very wide view, and it is fixed. So there is no problems really focusing with these guys. So it'll pretty much all the time be in focus. So you don't really have to worry about that yourself. And obviously, now that the industry is changing, they sort of have a very stylistic look to them, the shots. You know, there's no doubts about it. Once you see it, you know it's a GoPro. And it really, really allows us to get shots that we really wouldn't have been able to do before. I mean, you see guys flying down mountains on a mountain bike, you know, and it's attached to their helmet. And they're veering in and out, jumping. And these guys are just, you know, absolutely perfect. And it gives us a really good point of view. So getting us really, really close to the action. Okay, so brilliant, brilliant piece of kit to have. Let's move on, guys. So a DSLR, all right? So I know by now the majority of you are using DSLR cameras, okay? So let's have a quick look. So it's professional quality. The range of lenses, guys, is one of the reasons why I would use a DSLR camera. Okay, because you can really, you know, the selection of lenses is almost, you know, unlimited there, and it really, really allows you to bring a lot of different elements into your videography. You've got full manual control. Okay, accessories available, so things like tripods and the likes of that. They're very, very versatile, guys. But one of the things I would like to point out to you about DSLRs, they were built with photography in mind, with still images in mind, okay? So things to look out for in these guys, the sound quality, again, is not fantastic. Focusing can be quite difficult with DSLR cameras. Recording limits, again. You've got, let me see, you've got compressed file formats. And really at the heart of these cameras, guys, they're still just still cameras, okay? But I personally use one for a couple of different reasons, and a lot of you guys use them as well. Okay, so moving on from that, prosumer cameras, guys. So prosumer cameras are very, very serious business. Okay, and with that usually comes a very, very serious, or they can be very costly. Okay, these cameras, they're not designed with stills in mind. Okay, basically professional broadcasting quality. There's no recording limits, good native sound, manual control, and easier focusing than DSLRs. So guys, the main point about these is they're a bit better out of the box. Okay, a lot of people will use them recording weddings, making documentaries, interviews, things like that. The downside is obviously really the price of them. Okay, Lisa, I'm not too sure the general cost. See, it'll differ from currency to currency, but it is important to have a look up, and it might be something you want to invest in someday. So guys, moving forward, any of you guys seen one of these? A Red camera, or Red being the brand. Okay, so this guys would be an absolute dream. Yeah, okay, Mohammed says the dream, because reason being, these are cinema quality cameras. They're what's used in a lot of major productions. Realistically, I might not be able to ever afford one, but they are good to know. So movie quality, control in every real aspect. They are quite expensive, and they can be kind of difficult to operate. Okay, so understanding your own camera, guys. All right, so we're going to move on. So this is really, really important to know, to know exactly your own equipment, because there's nothing worse, guys. As I say, going out some days, it can be a very, very stressful shoot. If you don't really know your cameras, you just don't want to be caught out like that. Okay, you want to be as prepared as possible. Okay, so let's have a quick look at some of the aspects that we should really know before going out and shooting. So understanding your camera. So the recording button, guys. Okay, I know it probably sounds silly, but you need to know where this is. You press it once, it will start recording. You press it again, it will stop recording. But you feel very silly if you're out there and you're about to start your shoot and you're all of a sudden looking for the recording button. It doesn't really look that great on your end. Okay, so just to know your camera, guys. Another important one, guys, is your playback button. So this is if you really want to review the footage that you're looking at. Okay, now, again, a simple one, but again, just to really, you need to be able to look at your footage to see if the movement was correct, if your composition was good, all these things. So we have something to help us. Most cameras have them these days. It's an LCD screen. So what does LCD mean, guys? Liquid crystal display. Okay, the only issue with these, guys, is that they come in different sizes, different brightnesses, different resolutions. So it's not really a good, or it's not really an accurate representation of how your footage looks. So I really just want you to be careful with this, guys, because a lot of us will go out, and I've made the mistakes many, many times before myself. I record, I quickly look at the LCD screen. I'm like, yeah, that's exposed correctly, so the brightness is perfect. It's nice and sharp, so my focus is there. And then what happens when I get home and I put my footage on my big computer screen? All of a sudden, that's not the case. So the LCD screen, guys, again, it's not an accurate representation, so just to be careful. It's really used for like checking your composition, checking your movement, checking your angle to make sure that went good. Okay, so just moving on. Okay, just quickly, let's have a look at your zoom control, guys. Okay, so this is how it will be on most kind of bridging cameras or high bid cameras. Compact cameras. So the T and the W, this is for zooming in and out, guys. T stands for telephoto, so that is when you are zooming in. Okay, and W stands for wide. That would be when you are zooming out, guys. Okay, so one important thing to remember, I wouldn't zoom in and zoom out when you're actually recording. It doesn't look the best. It's not really a movement that's used anymore. It's pretty dated. It was used very heavily in the 70s, which we will look at later. It can be used for effect, though, as well. But mainly on your kind of bridge cameras, your video cameras, you might see it like this. On things like your DSLR, your zoom ring will be on your lens. So you can see it there, guys. It's simple. Just turning it left and right will zoom in and zoom back out. And that's perfect, okay? So microphones. All right. So as I said, 50% guys is audio, so just to keep this in mind. Now all cameras will have a built-in microphone, or most of them will, but they usually appear as these little small dots here. All right, I'm sure you've seen that before, yeah? Yeah, perfect, perfect, brilliant. So that's you'll locate, but again, as I say, most cameras, these guys, they're not producing really good quality audio. It's very, very poor most of the time. So, again, some cameras will have inputs, okay, some ports, so you can input basically external recording devices. All right, so just to keep in mind and just to check your camera and see kind of what you might have available to you guys. Another important thing to keep in mind is your automatic mode, guys. So how many people out there are shooting on automatic at the moment? Yeah, okay. So a little bit of a mixture. Okay. Yeah, some are saying yes, some saying no. Guys, for now, obviously, in later lessons, we're going to get into manual and taking full control. For now, whatever you're comfortable with, if you're shooting in automatic and you want to keep going until we cover that, perfect. I can see someone was on the advanced. Who was that? Stephen, you were on the advanced photography course, so you learned all about that. Brilliant. Yeah, so if you're using automatic mode, guys, at the moment, perfect. Keep going with that. If you're comfortable with manual, that's absolutely brilliant. One thing to really keep in mind about automatic is that we really don't have a lot of control. Okay, we've no real creative control. The camera is really making all the decisions. So for guys on automatic at the start, you can concentrate then on composition, angles, things like that. But going forward, you're going to want to be on manual because there can be a lot of continuity issues. And what I mean by continuity is, let's say you're shooting in one room, there's all different light sources, and then you move to a different room and your camera's set on automatic. They're going to be completely two different looking shots. So you guys will then have to go into the edit room, spend a lot of time trying to make the shots look like each other. It's just unnecessary work. I would say if you're comfortable with audio, keep going for the moment, but we will be moving away from that later on in the course, guys. Okay? So, perfect. Let's move on. We're just going to have a quick look at some accessories. I want to touch on this very, very briefly, guys. There's two main ones that I think we should look into just to get started. One would be your tripod. Very, very important piece of equipment for any videographer. So, one thing you might want to look at it if you're looking to get one is its flexibility. You want to look at the material that it's made from, so whether it's plastic, aluminium, carbon fiber, how much can I actually carry is really important to ask yourself, and the price. Okay? How many of you guys do have tripods already? I would say probably a lot of you do. Is it better to have wheels? Yeah, I'll answer that a little bit later, maybe in the Q&A. We'll come back to that. So if you could just keep that question. I missed your name. It was about having it on wheels, and we'll keep that for the Q&A, guys. So a lot of people do have tripods. Perfect. Okay, brilliant. It's very, very important, guys. You don't want to have shaky footage. Memory cards, again, any photographers or guys with cameras, you're familiar with these. But having the right memory card for video is very, very important. Okay, so video takes up a lot of space. So you're going to want to have as much capacity as possible. So the capacity you can see here, it's in GB, so that stands for gigabytes. So as big as possible, really, guys. These days, memory does not cost that much compared to what it used to. So I would say go for as big as you can possibly get it. Another important thing to look at would be its write speed. Is anybody familiar with write speed or what it means? Okay, it's no problem if you don't, guys. Like, I know that a lot of this could be new information, so that's perfect. So your write speed, basically, to put it in its simplest form, it's how well your camera or how well your memory card can take the information that's being recorded onto it. So how quick basically you can record, and that has a big effect, guys. Because some of the if you got a low one and you're trying to shoot high quality images, they can stall and they can cut out, and that's the last thing that you want on a shoot. It's going to be stressful enough sometimes, so eliminating a lot of the stress can be very, very important. Again, guys, the class, okay, just check your class. Maybe you're not aware that they come in different classes. They range from 1 to 10, and you guys should try to get the best that you can in terms of price, okay? And again, this is just to show the speed, guys, here. So really, really, we want to be aiming for the best that we can. So, guys, we are coming close to the end of the lesson. Okay, so hopefully you guys have had a lot of fun. I mean, I've had an immense amount of fun. This is my first live webinar for Shaw Academy. Been working really, really hard to get this course up and running. So hopefully I have done well. If I haven't done too well, thank you for sticking with me this long, and we'll both grow together as we go through this, okay? So a lot of well done's coming through, guys, and I really, really appreciate that. Thank you very much. So a couple of things to get started, guys. Keep it steady. Okay, tripods, monopod, anything that you can get the camera steady with, I would say do it. There is absolutely nothing worse than shaky footage. I'll tell you, one Christmas not too long ago, I was out doing a music video shoot for a band. It was winter time and I forgot my tripod. It was an absolute nightmare, guys. The footage was very, very shaky. There was nothing I could do. I couldn't get one, so I literally just had to make do. Excuse me. And it made it very, very difficult when I got to the edit, because I was spending a lot of time and effort trying to make the footage as unshaky as possible. Again, LCD stream, guys, it's not an accurate representation of the footage, so just to keep that in mind. We will go into this later, how to take precautions, so going around the LCD screen to make sure our footage looks in tip-top shape before we get into editing, okay? So another one to keep in mind, guys, take your time, okay? When you start shooting or when you start going out to do these productions, it can be overwhelming, okay? But do yourself a favor, take a deep breath, get yourself set up correctly, okay? I'm going to teach you in this course the processes in getting everything set up and the steps that you need to take first. So basically, which order you need to do it in. So guys, just take your time. Don't feel the pressure too much. Just try to do your best. Also, record more than you need. Again, I stress the importance, especially at this stage. Many, many times I made the mistake. Oh yeah, we've been out for a couple of hours. Yeah, no, I definitely have enough footage. And lo and behold, I get home, and that's not the case. Okay, so just don't leave yourself short, guys. All right, does that make sense? Yeah, perfect. Okay, so another tip, guys. Just mix it up, okay? So I know this is a very experimental stage, and that's what it should be. You don't need to have all the knowledge in the world to start to experiment and have fun with it, guys. So what I'd say is try new angles, maybe get low, get high, maybe move around your subject. I'm going to teach you in later lessons all about this, all about angles, all about camera movements. It's one of my favorite lessons, guys. I had so much fun building it, and I'm sure you guys will have fun as well. So for the moment, if you're going to get out and start shooting footage, just experiment, have a bit of fun with it. I would say shoot in manual focus if possible, because again, automatic focus can give a lot of issues. So if you feel comfortable, go for manual for the time being, okay? Keep spare batteries in cards if possible, guys. There's nothing worse than if you're out and about at a location that you can't really leave, and then you see the low battery sign. It's, yeah, a lot of people have been there. Laurie, yeah, you've been there. It's happened to us all, guys, okay? It's not a problem, but just to keep in mind, okay? And another tip, shoot for the edit. So again, have a clear idea in your mind, prepare, and give yourselves enough shots to work with, guys. Okay, just a couple of tips to get you started. So, do you think that they were helpful? Good tips, Laurie says. Brilliant. Very. So, would you guys have known a lot of that information, or maybe it's a mix between new information and some stuff you already knew? Brilliant, yeah. Well, guys, look, I really just want to keep it light and easy today. You know, get us started off on a good foot. I know some of you might have a little bit more experience than others. So we're going to get everybody off onto the same foot. So if there's anybody a little bit more experienced, just stick with me because there is a lot to learn. And as the lessons go on, you know, you'll find yourself in a much better position with this knowledge, okay? So, guys, so a little bit of a summary. So, guys, remember just the questions to ask yourself before starting: genres and styles, camera types. Make sure you're getting a lot of planning in as much as you possibly can. So, congratulations, guys. It's first lesson over with. We're starting to build on the foundations. I do want to stress attending live, guys. It's very, very important. I know you guys might not be able to do it every time, but whenever possible, get here live because you'll be able to interact with myself, ask questions, and as again, we do tend to see a better result in those who do. So next lesson, guys. So the next session, guys, we're going to go through a little bit of the history on how it works. So things like frames per second, resolution, aspect ratio, shutter speed, all these things. So we're going to get a little bit more technical. I'm going to let you go, send you the reminder, same time, same place. So take care and good night. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.